Yo, what's going on? It's C Trades from C Investments. We're going to be going over a crazy week that we're going to have with news this week. I think there's a lot of clear setups forming in the market. With that being said, this is not financial advice. Let's get straight to it. Right off the bat, I want to talk about my favorite stock. It is Palo Alto. We have earnings at Monday at market close. I am very excited. I think that if we could see a nice push off earnings, right, to break these highs that it's been struggling to break, and we open Tuesday, somewhere around here, I'm going to be looking at some swings once we retest these highs to push right back up to 360. I feel like that gap's going to get filled. And after we fill that gap, we're obviously going to go trading towards the liquidity pool up at 380. And we're going to break all those time highs. I really hope so. I'm a shareholder. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on this stock. It is right now probably one of the best setups I'm seeing. I wanted to buy some swings on Friday. I didn't get the option to do that because Monday we do have earnings, so I do not want to be gambling something going into earnings. I'm very excited. I hope they perform amazing. Another stock that is really catching my eye is going to be Tesla. Tesla has been in a very bearish phase for pretty much, I think 2 years now, right? It's been overall struggling to break some strong highs. We finally saw some very strong buyers come in here. We saw a pullback. This pullback happened on every stock, so I don't know if that was a pullback just on Tesla or if that was a pullback in the overall market, right? It's not too clear yet, but if it wasn't a pullback on Tesla and it was just following the overall market, the fear of it, the scaredness of it, I'm going to want to see these highs get broken. If these highs get broken, I'm going to be targeting liquidity pools up to 270. It's very important to note that we created the divergence, right? That we have smart money, institutional money that's looking like they're coming back in order to push the stock higher. If that is the case, I want to wait for the break of structure. After we break structure, I want to see a retest to it, maybe a fair value gap, hopefully a fair value gap, right? Obviously a fair value gap, those are my entries. And if we can grab one of those to take it right back up to those liquidity pools, it would be amazing. I like the setup. It's looking juicy, but only time could tell. Right off the bat, let's talk about the S&P 500, and then I'll break down the other stocks. This big fear, the big words recession or whatever, they got bought on Monday. And like I told you guys on Monday, or at least my premium cord, as I told them, I was buying shares like a kid at a candy store. I bought shares of Amazon. I bought shares of Microsoft. I bought shares of Nvidia. Nvidia was a big purchase. I bought shares of Nike. I think Nike was at a steal. And damn, they're starting to pay off. We bought Nike at 73 and they're at 83, and I feel like Nike's going to have a nice push this week too. I'm looking for some swings as well on it. I think it's going to fill in this gap. This gap was due to earnings. So let's see where it goes. Dell's starting to pick up as well, right? I did not buy any shares. I wish I did, but it looks like Dell's trying to make another push back up like we saw it. If you guys are in the cord, we made a lot of money during this push up. So hopefully we could see the same thing happen. Overall, I think we're going to have a huge week because of news. It's important to note that on Thursday is going to be the most important day. We have those unemployment claims. Last week, once we had a surprise of the report come out, right, we had about a 7,000 people were more employed than we had predicted. So that's huge, right? If that happens again, and if that's the case, I feel like that's really going to push us forward. I feel like it's going to be a great time for the economy. So hopefully we see that. Hopefully we see us beat unemployment claims and there's more people employed than unemployed. I'd really want to see that. If that doesn't happen, we could see a further push down, right? If this forecast is neutral, right, and it comes out at that, it's not going to be a huge shock. If it's over that, it's going to be a huge shock. And if it's under that, it's going to be very good for the bulls. If it's over it, very bad. Bears are going to come in. So that's going to be important for what our chairman speaks about on Friday, right? He talks very early. He's going to be talking at 10 a.m. So I'm excited to see that through. I'm excited to hear what he has to say. Obviously, he's going to be talking about a lot. We had a huge pullback. There was a lot of scared sellers. The VIX went crazy 2 weeks ago. So he's going to have a lot of topics to speak about. I think it's going to be huge for this week. But I know you guys mostly like to talk about the SPY, so let's talk about the SPY. If I could give you any advice, stop trading the SPY unless you trade futures and you're just building capital right now. Remember the goal. The goal is to move your capital, your funded income, right? Your funded profits into a live account. Funded's never going to be something that you should be looking at to do long term. It should always be just that stepping stool to get you into your own live account. But what do I think the SPY could do? I think the SPY has two possible things, right? We didn't close above this, right? But we are looking very bullish. If this was a sweep, because it could be a big liquidity sweep to retrace all the way down to these lows and break it. Do I think that's going to happen? Do I think that's what we're going to see? Not at all. I think we're most likely going to see a smaller pullback down here, right? Fill in our gap and push a lot higher to retest all-time highs. But you gotta have an open mind, especially when trading SPY. We did have a couple of bearish, I think it was about 3 bearish weeks. Then we had a very bullish week. So you gotta take note. Are the bulls back? I think they are. I think it's very clear they are. I think we're obviously gonna see price push a lot higher. But if this pullback gets disrespected, keep an eye. We might drop a lot lower. I don't think that's gonna happen again. I think the clear bias is bullish, right? We no longer have a divergence on our hourly and our daily. Our daily just broke those prominent highs that we wanted it to break. If it could trade higher, now you're going to have a daily showing bullish signs, an hourly showing bullish signs, and a 4-hour time frame showing bullish signs, which is huge. That's really all that you want to be looking for on SPY. SPY is either going to trade above here, and you're going to want to grab those trades for the higher end of it, or SPY is going to trade down here, and you're going to want to grab the reversal back up to these liquidity pools in order for a break. If you're trying to trade the choppiness in between it, you're gonna get burnt. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's nothing else to it. Just don't do it. You're gonna get burnt. I mean, it's the S&P 500. You're not gonna beat this on every day trade. It's impossible, right? Amazon is something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. All these writings are on lower time frames, so that's why they look so squished. But I think if Amazon gains strength, right? If the market gains overall strength, I think we could see a push to fill in this gap. If not, you're going to see the retracement down here, and you're going to grab this for a push higher. So overall, I'm excited, regardless of the outcome, because if we push down, we just created a swing opportunity to take it back up, right? If Meta pushes down, well, Meta, no. I want Meta to go higher. But if Apollo goes down due to earnings, I'm going to have an opportunity to swing it back up. If Nvidia goes down due to earnings, which I hope they do, you just broke some prominent highs. If you can drop down here, it's going to create a swing opportunity to push back up. So the setups are forming a lot clearer than they were, right? There's a lot of better price action this week, coming into this week, than we had the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks were very much used for studying. There were weeks that you really wanted to see what happens in a pullback and what happens during that strong aggressive push up, because we saw that happen twice. We saw 1 week very bearish and another week very bullish. So if you didn't take advantage of that in order to understand what the live markets were doing, and if you're a beginner trader and if you're trying to trade every single setup, I'm sure you saw yourself get burnt. So take note of it. Understand that this is what a market does. The market's volatile, right? It's not always going to be amazing setups and just flying straight forward. So take notes and see what you could have learned this time. Something huge that I explained to my court is buy fear, right? One of the best investors says it. So when we had that Monday, that big scary drop, and the VIX was all the way up here, I think it was up like what, 63%, it says 64%. Guess what I was doing? I was buying because you want to buy the fear, and it clearly paid out, right? Nike's the one that mostly paid out for me, and I really love it. We bought shares at 73, now we're chilling up at 83. I think it's got potential to go higher. There's even a swing here for the push higher. There's clearly a lot of empty space. Won't say too much on that because I'm looking for a position on it. Same as Amazon, same as Meta. If Meta breaks these highs that it's been trying to break for a minute now, guess what? That push is going to be a lot higher than you expect. I think it's going to be a 30% run like this was. We're right now sitting, I think, at a 22% run. So you have 5 to 7 more percent to run if we break those highs. I think that's going to be huge. I have an eye on it. I am not liking Microsoft. I would stay away from Microsoft this week. Not at least until it breaks up 530. Then I'll be, a little bit more convinced that we're going to push higher. But I don't really like this. We broke very strong prominent lows. It's not seeing like buyers are really stepping in the way you're seeing it in other stocks. So I'd stay away from Microsoft this week. Let it do its thing. Keep notes on it. Keep an eye on it. But I'm not going to be touching it personally. Other than that, look at news. News is huge this week. We got Wednesday FOMC minutes, which is not the same as our meeting, right? They're just going to be going over what happened last meeting and what could happen this meeting. And Thursday, the biggest day, unemployment claims. Friday, we have him speaking. Take note of those times. Don't be in any trades. Be smart. wait for the market to do something and then trade off reaction. You don't have a crystal ball, so don't try to predict something that you can't. It's going to be an exciting week. I would definitely suggest you guys join the free chord. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff this week specifically about where price could move because I'm excited. I think there's a lot of opportunity to grab. So it doesn't harm you. It's a free chord. It's a free chord, right? So join it. Obviously, the premium members, you guys are going to get that insight of what trades I'm going to be taking, and I'm going to be live. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a great week. There's no other words to it. I hope you guys like these videos. If you have any comments, any questions, peep down in the comments or join the free chord and DM me. With that being said, C Trades is out. Peace.